What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about the survivor medal quests that were added in chapter 4 season 4 and how you can complete them to unlock the mythic llama backbling. There's several stages to these challenges. They kind of get harder as you go, but each rarity you will complete unlocks a different style for the backbling. And the final stage for the mythic llama requires you to win 10 games with 10 eliminations in each game. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. As always, if you guys do find this helpful or informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below which stage of this quest that you're on, or if you've already unlocked the mythic llama backbling. So I think a lot of players have started to kind of reach this final mythic stage and feel stressed out about the challenge. I've gotten a lot of questions about it recently on stream or in videos, people asking me how they can complete this to get the 10 elims. And before we go into anything else, I just want to say that you have all season to unlock this llama backbling. It's not like you have to unlock it right now, right this second. You need 10 kill win games today. You have the entirety of this season, which goes until November 3rd, I believe. So you could get one or two a week at this point, and you would be fine. It's, one of those things where it's a marathon, not a sprint. You could do it all today and that'd be fine, but you can also kind of level it up over the course of the season. And I think a lot of players will end up just reaching this naturally by playing throughout the course of the season without really worrying about it. If you do want to get this done as fast as possible, or you don't think you're going to unlock it naturally, you feel like you have to focus on it more, I think the biggest piece of advice I can give you is to land somewhere populated, like the first location in the bus path or any of the vault POIs if they're early on in the bus route. Places like Brutal, Bastion, or Slappy Shores are often populated. I'm sure if you've been playing the game for a lot of Chapter 4, we kind of know the POIs that are hot, and the bus route in that match will have a large impact on that. It's going to be so much easier for you to win 10 games with 10 kills if you can get a decent chunk of those kills early on in the game, rather than, being in the top 10 with 2 elims and then kind of knowing that you need to basically kill everybody remaining in the lobby to get that win. I think if you want to get the 10 kill win, then you just should get the kills out of the way early, and then once you have a decent chunk of kills, then kind of start playing more for the win rather than needing to pop off endgame. Also, if you're landing somewhere hot, you're going to either clear that POI and get a decent chunk of kills, or you're going to die off spawn without putting much time into that match at all. Whereas if you're hiding all game, playing very reserved, and you have, a middling amount of kills, maybe 5 or 6, and then you get to the end game and there's not enough people left for you to get the medal, you've wasted 20 minutes into that match where you have no potential to get the thing, or you've invested so much time into the game before it's known that you're not going to get it that match. I said, you don't have to play like this all the time. You don't have to get it today, but if you are someone who's trying to do this challenge, I think you definitely want to land a little more high. It is more risky, but you're not going to put that much time into a match where you die off spawn. You're going to put 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, that wasn't your game. Go next. After you clear your POI, I think you're going to want to go to the radio tower nearby. 3 will spawn per game, and the bosses will spawn 30 seconds into second zone, and capturing this radio tower will give you forecast for the rest of the game, which will basically show you where the next zone is going to be, every single zone for the remainder of that game. And not only will this make it much easier for you to win the game, because when you get down into endgame, you'll know where to put yourself and you'll know where next zone is going to be, and you can kind of plan accordingly. But also, you're probably going to get in more fights at this radio tower. Oftentimes I have to eliminate people before I fight the boss, or shortly after fighting the boss you get third partied. So once you do eliminate the boss, make sure you kind of keep your head on a swivel and stay aware of the fact that you can get third partied. But again, this is something that's going to not only give you a huge advantage for the remainder of the game and make it much easier for you to win, you're going to find more players most likely, and that's going to increase your kill count. In third zone, the combat cache will spawn, and you can either go for this or not. It does drop slurp juice, which is nice, and a pump corresponding to the rarity that you open it at. So if you get it at gold, you're going to get a gold pump. But you will get slurp juice from the radio tower boss. So unless you've already used those by third zone, which you might from getting third partied at the radio tower, you may or may not need to go for cash. This season, it hasn't been as much of a priority to me as it was last season, because I typically do have the slurps from the radio tower boss. But in fourth zone, the island will spawn, and this is going to be another huge opportunity for you to find players and get eliminations, because when you're controlling island, oftentimes other players will come up to island and try to contest you. And even if the players aren't trying to contest island, if you're just on top, it's very easy to beam people to twin mag AR and potentially get even more easy kills. I think a lot of the people that have been struggling to get the eliminations for their win play typically more reserved, so they don't know how, or they don't know where to go to find people. And with the structured nature of the game in Chapter 4, I think finding a lot of players over the course of the game relies or revolves heavily around these mid-match objectives. If you land at a hot POI and then go radio tower and then go island, and you know, fight the players that you encounter there without them getting away, it should be pretty easy for you to get these 10 kill wins. Like, obviously you have to be able to win those fights and get the kills, but as far as just finding traffic goes, I think it's pretty easy in Chapter 4 because of these mid-match objectives. And kind of when I've outlined this playstyle before, or this, you know, simple route you can run of like wherever you land into radio tower into island, I've had players tell me it's too hard because you'll have to fight the other good players in the lobby. Like, odds are if players are dropping hot, or they're going for radio towers, or they're going for island, they're going to be the more confident, like, better fighters in the lobby. A lot of the more, you know, weaker players tend to shy away from those sort of things. They like to land on outskirts POIs. They don't really go for these mid-match objectives. And the thing is, for this challenge, like, you need kills and you need to get the win. So just let's just say, hypothetically, the best player in the world is in your lobby, right? And they're also landing at the same, you know, hot drop as you. Wouldn't you rather just fight that player, you know, off spawn and get it out of the way and not spend much time in that match? Whereas, like, if you spend 20 minutes hiding and then that best player in the world is still going to eliminate you, I feel like it's just better to get that out of the way off spawn. And that's kind of how I feel about radio towers and island as well. You will fight some decent players here, but oftentimes, you know, in matches I've played, the better players in the lobby are the people I fight at radio towers, or it's the people I fight at island, or sometimes even the people I fight off spawn. And so what that does is, not only are you going to get your eliminations over the course of the match, you get the better players out of the lobby, which makes it much easier for you to actually win the game when it comes down to endgame. I've had a lot of players ask me this before, where like they say they watch streamers or other content creators, and the endgame, there's no one, it's so easy, but in their matches, the endgames are so sweaty. And I think a decent part of that, for pubs at least, is because the streamers and content creators are often playing more aggressive, so you tend to fight the better players in the lobby. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying before about, you know, how much time you put into the game. If you die off spawn, you didn't put much time into that game, and so the penalty for doing so is really not that much. But if you are someone who's struggling to just find traffic, I think those two things, or those few things, can really help. You know, hot dropping, going for radio towers, and going for island. You know, you don't have to go for island every game. If you just hate fighting island, I didn't go to it much last season because I felt like I didn't like the way it played last season. But if you need the kills, that's going to be your best bet. If you're coming into 4th zone and you already have like 7 or 8 kills, it might not be as necessary for you to go to island at that point if all you want to do is complete this challenge. But I think 10 kills is not a very high amount to where you need to play super aggro the entire game. You know, if they made it 20 kill wins, then it would be really hard, and you have to play very aggressive and kind of get lucky with how much traffic you run into to get a 20 bomb. But I feel like 10 kills, it's not so easy that everyone is just going to do it accidentally without thinking about it, but it also isn't so hard that I think it's unattainable. I feel like it's a pretty modest goal, and I think for a lot of players in the community, this is very doable over the course of the season. It's just that a lot of players, for some reason, are very fixated on getting it right now when there's like, I think like 47 or 48 days left in the season as of the time I'm recording this. Like, you could get one every 4 days, and that's enough, you know? Also, team kills seemingly count for this challenge. From what I've read, I did look into it a decent amount. It seems like either team eliminations count, so like if your team as a total gets 10 kills, that would just count, or maybe it's your kills plus your assists in the match. I'm not entirely sure, but it seems like one of those two things is true. I did this all in solos within like the first week of the season or so. I wasn't even really aware that this was a thing yet. And I ended up getting it done in solos, so I don't really have much experience for how it works in team game modes. But I looked into a lot of like comments on this, and it definitely seems like it's either the entire team kills combined, or your kills plus your assists count towards your kills for the challenge. So like, let's say you get 5 kills and 5 assists, that would be 10 kills. If all of the team kills count, then you could get 1 kill, the rest of your teammates could get 9, and you're chilling. But it's not like playing team game modes puts you at like a severe disadvantage for this challenge, at least from what I've read. And like I said, I did look into it a decent amount. but I had players coming to my stream saying like they don't want to play solos to get this done, and I don't think it is like you have to play solos to get it done. Also, recently there was a loading screen, or not really a loading screen, but you know those intro screens that like pop up when you first open the game? One of those was on the game recently that stated the survivor medal progress will reset at the end of each season. And some players have interpreted this to mean the backbling will reset every season. So when season 5 comes, or chapter 5 season 1, whichever it is, you would lose the Mythic Llama backbling and then have to re-unlock it. And that's how crowns work. So I think that's why a lot of people are kind of going with that definition of it, because crowns reset every season. So it wouldn't be out of line to think that maybe these backblings reset as well. But if you are someone who really cares about getting this Mythic Llama backbling, I wouldn't just write it off and say that it's definitely going to reset next season and that you'll lose the backbling. It might just be that every season has a different like survival medal reward. Like this season it's Llama backbling. Next season it might be the Peely backbling, or I don't know, the Midas pickaxe or whatever. You know, they could do a different reward every season and still have that kind of sentence on that intro screen be true. So if you are someone who really wants to get this backbling, I wouldn't just give up because the challenge is going to reset next season. Like to me, that intro screen basically means survivor medals are staying next season and for future seasons, but I think the reward might end up changing. We'll have to see though. This is the first time they've done something like that, but I think if they do take the reward away, then nobody is going to care about it. Either way, that's my advice for getting these challenges done. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch my videos, because I do have several videos where I kind of go over, you know, winning more fights and playing better. This video, I kind of want to just focus on how you would get that traffic, and the easiest way, in my opinion, would be land somewhere hot, go to the radio tower, go to island. These mid-match objectives makes it very, very easy to run into 10 or more players in a single game. And like I said, I do think this challenge is very reasonable and not really that out of line. It's not just so easy, but I think a lot of players will get it done over the course of the season without worrying about it. And it's really just, we're super early into the season and people are fixated on getting it right now, which kind of leads to some of them stressing. But I think if you just chill out and play, you'll probably get very close to this at the end of the season. Maybe you need to crunch a little bit in the last 2 weeks, but I wouldn't stress too much about it right this second. As always, if you guys did find this helpful, informative, interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below if you've already gotten this Mythic Llama backbling or which step you're on, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.